Hello, I'm Rebecca Flaherty and today we're working on another pattern from my Spring-Summer 2026 geometric series. In this tutorial we're creating a 3D cube pattern using just one colour and blend modes for a really satisfying 3D effect. So for this pattern we are going to start in a 3600 pixel square canvas to start off with. Go to your layers and fill your first layer with a colour. We can use any colour for this. We'll go for this blue colour here. Any colour is going to do at this stage because it's very simple to change colours later. So tap transform, and for this tutorial you want to have bilinear as your interpolation method, and we want to have snapping and magnetics on and turned all the way up. So we're going to rotate it 45 degrees and we're going to tap fit to canvas. And we're going to tap off it to set that, and then we can tap back on again. And then we're going to tap up here on this node, uncheck the ratio and change it to 1200 by 800 pixels. And that's going to give you a kind of sideways diamond like that. Let's just center that on the canvas for now. Now we need to crop the canvas down because this pattern doesn't repeat in a square, it needs to be a rectangle. So go up here to your little spanner icon and we're going to go to Canvas Actions and go to Crop and Resize. Tap on Settings and turn Snapping on, and the width we'll leave at 3600 and the height we're going to change to 2400. Tap Done, and then we can just center this back on the canvas again. Then you can tap on that when you're done. Now we can arrange these diamonds around the tile. We want a row of half diamonds along the top and along the bottom. So duplicate this one, tap transform, and we're simply going to snap this up into the corner, and you should have an orange line going down this edge and across that edge. Then we can duplicate that, tap transform, snap one into the middle. You should have an orange line down there and along the top, and then one more over there into that corner, and again you should be looking for the orange lines on the canvas edges. Then you can pinch to flatten these three, duplicate, tap transform, flip it vertically, and then snap these down to the bottom there. Check in you've got those orange lines, and then those can be pinched onto the same layer. This one here we want to repeat across the middle, but it needs to be slightly offset, so instead of being lined up with the middle of these, it needs to be lined up with the middle of the negative space there. So let's duplicate this one, tap transform, and this one is going to start over here, snap to the edge and centered. Then this one we can move along so it joins that one there. Duplicate it, put one over here, duplicate again, and then just snap one over there. I'm going to duplicate that one just so that I've got a spare one to go back to. We can hide that one, and then I'm going to pinch everything together all on one layer, and then you should have this layer here. So these are going to be like the tops of our cubes. Now we need to add some rectangles in to do the shading. So add a layer. On your colours, just double tap here to get a 50% grey. Then we're going to tap on this and fill the layer. Tap transform, tap on this node, uncheck the ratio, and this one needs to be 600 pixels by 1200 pixels. While we're doing this, I'm going to hide that layer as well so that it doesn't interfere with the snapping. This one I'm going to bring over here, and then I'm going to duplicate this and repeat it alternately from top to bottom. So duplicate, tap transform, and snap it down there. Then duplicate it again and snap it up there. When you get to this one, you should find that it is also snapping to the center of the canvas there on that point. And then just continue to duplicate and move these, whoops, don't make them any bigger, move them up there. And then the last one should snap down there. Zoom in and make sure these all look lined up nice and straight. And when you're confident that those are all in the right place, you can pinch all of those together. Then we're going to duplicate that, tap transform, and flip it vertically. This bottom one, I'm going to tap on the N, which will open the blend mode menu, and we're going to make this color burn and 50% for the opacity. And then this one, I'm going to do the same, make it color burn, but change the opacity to 30% for this one. Now we can move this up to the top, we can turn that back on. These will just kind of disappear because colour burn onto white doesn't do anything, but if we change our background colour to this blue, you'll see, just like magic, we now have these cubes that kind of just look really 3D. And to easily switch up the colours for this pattern, if we alpha lock this, we can pick a new colour for this layer. So we'll go for this kind of coral colour there, fill the layer, change your background colour to the same colour, and just by changing that one colour you can easily change the colour of the whole pattern. I find it's easier to add a layer in between, and then you can just pick any old colour from here and then tap and fill, because sometimes the colour that you want to use isn't always in either your swatch history or your colour palette. So it's quicker to have a layer filled with colour, one on top, and then you can just change both of those at the same time. So play around with the colours and adjust the opacities if you want until you have something that you like, and then we can test the repeat. So to do that, we're going to swipe down with 3 fingers, copy all, come up to the top here, swipe down again, and paste. So now we've got a flattened copy of that in there. Let's hide everything else. Let's fill a layer underneath, invert the colours so it's something that will stand out. If there's any gaps, this will show through. So tap on this layer, tap transform. We've already got snapping and magnetics on. We're going to drag this up and snap it to the middle of the canvas, and you should see 1800 and 1200 pixels there. Duplicate, tap transform, and snap this one over to the corner there. You can zoom in here and make sure that you've got no gaps there. That's all looking okay. Pinch those together, duplicate, transform, and snap this one down to the bottom. And again, you can test this horizontal seam there. That's all looking lined up. And that's the finished pattern and repeat. If you are into making geometric patterns like this, take a look at my Skillshare class on making geometric patterns in Procreate using circles. New members can get 1 month free using the link below. Thank you so much for watching, have fun, stay creative, and I will see you soon.